War in Ukraine remains an open question, but military posturing on Ukraine's borders continues to intensify. Russian troops were meant to leave Belarus on Sunday, when military exercises with their ally ended. But their stay has been extended indefinitely. The Belarusian defense minister cited increased military activity in the region, as well as unrest inside Ukraine, but no mention of what Ukrainian leaders and their Western allies describe as Russian provocation. The presidents of Belarus and Russia met in Moscow 2 days ago. President Alexander Lukashenko is a close Russian ally. The strategic advantage of having Russian troops in Belarus is just one more reason, analysts say, President Vladimir Putin has the upper hand.
The U.S. and Russia have tentatively agreed to a meeting over Ukraine, offering a possible path out of one of the most dangerous European crises in decades. The office of French President Emmanuel Macron said in a statement on Monday he had pitched a summit over security and strategic stability in Europe to his American and Russian counterparts, Joe Biden and Vladimir Putin. White House responded in a statement that Biden would accept the meeting in principle, but only if an invasion doesn't happen. In that statement, Press Secretary Jen Psaki said, quote, "We are always ready for diplomacy. We are also ready to impose swift and severe consequences should Russia instead choose war."
The US warns the United Nations that Russia has a kill list ready in case of invasion. In a letter, the United States said intel suggests that Moscow has lists of Ukrainians to be killed or sent to camps after invasion. Washington's letter states that America is deeply concerned and warns of potential human rights catastrophe, adding that the United States has credible information that the Kremlin is creating lists of identified Ukrainians. America also warns that it expects Russia to use lethal methods to dispel peaceful protests. Now, the U.S. company Maxar released satellite images of new field deployment of artillery and troops in Russia near Ukraine border. The images show Russian troops in forests, farms, and industrial areas. The buildup is as close as 15 kilometers from the Ukrainian border.
All right, let's now shift our attention to what is happening in the West African nation of Niger, where, according to reports that have come in, at least about 7 children have been killed and 5 others wounded in an airstrike that was carried out by the Nigerian army. Now, the incident took place in the village of Nat Ade in the Maradi region, and the village is just a few kilometers away from the Nigerian border. The Maradi officials, meanwhile, have launched an investigation to probe the killings of these 7 children. And according to the authorities, the victims were attending a ceremony when the strike hit them. According to initial reports, the airstrike was originally conducted to target the local bandits.
Hong Kong has been hit by a surge in coronavirus infections that has overwhelmed the territory's healthcare system. Show you some pictures from the Caritas Medical Centre in Hong Kong, where dozens of patients are being treated on stretchers outside the hospital in the open air. More than 4,000 new cases were reported on Wednesday. That's a new record. Hong Kong pursues a zero COVID policy, but without the strict mass testing and lockdown seen in mainland China. Well, China's President Xi Jinping has urged the territory's leaders to take all necessary measures to control this latest surge.
11 years and $5 billion in the making. Ethiopians are finally able to switch on electricity produced by their own giant dam. A welcome distraction for Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed at war with rebel Tigrayan forces in the north. The 145-metre-high dam on the Nile River's main tributary, the Blue Nile, is designed to hold 74 billion cubic metres of water. But Africa's largest hydroelectric power project is controversial, and it's fiercely opposed by Ethiopia's neighbours.